Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the EDH video. Today's video, we're talking about the Selesnya deck, 32 deck challenge that I've been doing on the channel here recently. We're doing Trostani, Selesnya's voice. She's 2 green and 2 white for a legendary creature Dryad. Whenever she enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness. You can tap 1 in a Selesnya and populate. She's a 2/5, and pretty much everybody and their mothers built around this commander. I feel like she's pretty popular in Selesnya. Maybe not. Maybe she got like definitely. There's probably definitely better ones. She probably got overshadowed by a couple other ones that I can think of. But it's coming in at a whopping $440.27. Not budget. I don't think. For me, it's kind of like in the middle. I don't really have a low budget, but 400 is about where I stick to, mainly because the Great Hinge, Creative Behemoth, and the Old Gnawbone was why it's so expensive. This deck is coming in with one Planeswalker, 32 creatures, 5 sorceries, 11 instants, 8 artifacts, 7 enchantments, and 35 lands. Oh, pretty rounded out there. Mainly went creatures. So, anyways, let's get right into the ramp. So first up, we got some Minador. So we got Birds of Paradise, Avacyn's Pilgrim, and Arcane Signet. All good includes for a Selesnya deck because they can tap for all your mana. You want to fix your mana to get. She has 4 pips. She doesn't have any colorless in her mana, so it's pretty hard to get her out. Then we have Elvish Mystic, Circle of Dreams Druid, and Accomplished Alchemist. Circle of Dreams Druids will tap for green for each creature we control, and Accomplished Alchemist will tap for X, where X is the amount of life we gained, which is pretty good when it enters and gains us 5 life. Next we get Karametra, God of Harvest. Whenever you cast a creature spell, we can search for a plains or a forest. Lana War Elves, which is add a green. Cradle of Viltmock, which is a guy's cradle but on a budget, but it's a little bit better because it can tap for 1 without having creatures. Next up, we got Old Nabo. Not really ramp, but it'll create a bunch of treasures. And it's at 7 mana, but who cares? And then we have Savala, which is probably the best ramp in the deck. You can add X where X is the power. And then we have Mirar's Wake, which is a lot of mana, but you can tap a land for twice the amount. Great Hinge, which is a lot of mana, but we usually cast it for 2. And it taps for 2, but also draws us card and it gets us counters. And then we have Soul Ring, and we have Smothering Tithe, which isn't really ramp, but I put it in here because why not? It gets us treasures whenever an opponent draws a card. It's okay. I don't know why Smothering Tithe is here twice. We definitely didn't fix that. It's okay. Ezra Channeler, it makes everything cost X less, where X is the amount of life we gain, and then it can tap 2 and gain life, so it makes our stuff cost 2 less on the next turn it plays. Overwhelmed Hydra lets us search for a land, any land, and put it on the battlefield. Next we got Draw. So first up we got Growing Rise of Illimok, which is the backside of the guy's Cradle card, and you can look at the top 4, put a creature in your hand. Most of the time we're going to draw a card off that. A Harmless Archive lets us draw a card. Draw 2 instead of 1 on each of our draw steps. And then Regal Force enters and draws a card for each green creature control. It counts itself, so it'll automatically draw 1. So we got Savala. It's also the ramp, but whenever a creature enters the battlefield that is greater power than each other creature, you draw a card. And the Great Hinge will let us draw a card and put a counter on it, and also add mana. And then Beast Whisper lets us cast this. Whenever we cast a creature spell, we draw a card. Urdra Chasm, whenever it hits, we pretty much put a creature from the top of our library into play. Where X is the amount of revealed cards, whatever. Not really card draw, but it's card advantage. Orin Frostfang, whenever a creature deals combat damage, we draw a card. And then Huatli has the emblem. Whenever we play a creature spell, we draw a card. And then Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. This is removal. This exile 2 target permanents whenever we cast it. And then Swords of Plowshare exiles target creature. And then Terrestrial will hit 3 non-creature permanents and give them 3/3s. It's also 9/9 for 8. Or shards, whenever a creature enters the battlefield, we destroy target artifact or enchantment. Return to nature, destroy target artifact or enchantment, or exile a card from a graveyard. And then we have Path to Exile, which is exile the target creature and let somebody search for their basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. So 1 mana replace something with a land, pretty much. So we got Sundering Growth, which will let us populate and also destroy target artifact or enchantment. Then we have Phyrexian Rebirth, which is our 1 board wipe, and because we don't really want a lot of board wipes because we have a lot of creatures, but it'll give us an XX, big old boy. And then Aetherless Reservoir is just player removal. If we get a lot of life, we can just hit somebody for 50. Generous Gift, destroy target permanent, give them a 3/3 beast. Just a solid little piece there. We don't have Beast Within for some reason, but maybe we should. But we're in white, so we don't really care that much. We have enough. It works fine. This we got Tutor, which is ways to find creatures we want and everything else. Shared summons, let's just search for 2 creatures with different names. Tooth and Nail will let us search for 2 of them and put them in our hand, or we can put 2 from our hand on the battlefield, or we can entwine it and do both. Worldly Tutor just puts a creature on top of our library. We have to reveal it, obviously. And then Finale Devastation will also be a pump spell, but if we just want to search for something with like a 5 mana cost, we can pay 7 into it and get a 5 and put it on the battlefield. Pretty good way to get a lot of our good creatures on the battlefield if we want to. Like maybe a Crater Hoof. I mean, might as well just get a Crater Hoof with that. Why not? Next up, we got tokens. There's not a whole lot, but I figured I would add this as a little thing. Druid's Deliverance populates, but also permanents all combat damage. Ramble Sovereign to return our non-token creatures into tokens. So we get 2 of them into play. Erase the Redeemed. We can tap 3 and put a creature, or a 1/1 elf creature, and then we can tap 6 and populate all those pretty much. We'll double them. And then Phyrexian Processor, we can pay any amount of life, and then we can tap 4 and create a XX, where X is the amount of life we paid. Hornet Queen, 7 mana, creates 4/1/1 insect creature with Death Touch. Giant Anaphage, whenever we deal combat damage with it, we get another Giant Anaphage. Trostani, which is our commander, we can tap 3 and populate. Trostani Discordant, we can tap. We can't tap. It just gets our stuff big and it enters in 2 1/1 white soldiers, and then it also lets us take our stuff back. And Finale of Glory, we can pay X and make X stuff, and we can also, if we pay X over 10, we get 4/4s. Helm of the Host, we can equip to Trostani and make like a lot of Trostanis, and then Desolation Twin enters with a 10/10. So it's a 10 mana 20/20 pretty much. We can also just Helm and Host that too. That'd be cool. Get a bunch of 10/10s. Next up, we got Protection, which is like either player protection or creature protection. Druid's Deliverance, we already saw this one. For all combat damage. Obscuring Haze, it's free if we have a commander. We can prevent all combat damage. Flawless Maneuver, again, makes everything indestructible. We don't really have that much. We just really kind of we don't really care that much. Might as well we have a lot of life gain, so who cares, you know? But life gain, Aetherflux Reservoir, obviously we can take somebody out with that. Alharmer's Archive makes us gain double life. Trostani is the commander, lets us gain life whenever a creature enters. We all know that. We all know these cards. These cards are good. But Aetherflux, we can just, if we storm off, we can get a lot of stuff. Soul's Attendant enters whenever another creature enters battle. We gain 1 life, and Soul Warden's the same thing, and then Essence Warden is the same thing as well. And they trigger for your opponents too, so it's good, because if somebody plays a creature, you gain a life. And then Beacon of Immortality, we gain double life, which does count as gaining life, but we shuffle it back into our library. And Boon Reflection lets us gain twice life, and then Ezreal Channel will let us tap for 2 and gain 2 life, but it can also make our creatures cast excess, where the X is the amount of life we gained. Blossoming Bog Beast lets us pump our creatures whenever it attacks, for where X is the amount of life we gain, but it also attacks and gains 2 life. And then Verdant Sense Avatar it's pretty much does the same thing as Trostani. It's the second Trostani for 7 mana, so it's okay, but it's not the greatest, but it does work in the deck. Overrun. So we got Moonshire Cavalry, which will give our stuff +X and flying, where X is the amount of creatures we control. Basically, a white Crater Hoof Behemoth. Mirari's Wake gives a +1/+1. Blossoming Bog Beast is an attack trigger that lets us pretty much Crater Hoof, but for life we gain, but only when it attacks. And then Trostani Discordant is +1/+1. Beastmaster Ascension is +5/+5. We've had to attack with like 7 or more creatures pretty much. Crater Hoof Behemoth, we all know what this does. +X/+X. Trample, where X is the amount of creatures we control. 8 mana. Huali, Radiant Champion, gives target creature +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. It's a mini Crater Hoof, but for a -1. Finale Devastation, we can pump 10 of that and give everything plus, whatever in haste. So if we Finale of Devastation for a Crater Hoof, if we paid at more than 10, we can give everything haste and trample and +X/+X. Next up, we got good stuff. This is where I didn't really know where to put this stuff at. Emery Shepherd, like whenever we play a land, if it's a plains, we can return target non-land permanent to the battlefield. If it's not a plains, we can just put it to our hand. And then Galta lets us put creatures from our hand onto the battlefield. Concordant Crossroads just give our stuff haste. Everybody else's too. Panormonicon lets us pretty much use our Trostani trigger to gain double that life. It's kind of like another double life thing, but it doesn't really work with it works with a lot of stuff, but doesn't really work with a lot of stuff. If you know what I mean, I just put it in here because it's cool with Trostani. Next we got lands. We got 14 plains, 13 forests, fortified village, temple garden, temple of plenty, sun petal grove. Temple of cultivation is a backside of a creature. We can't really play it as a land, but it can flip into a land. Illitimok Cradle of Sun, which is the guy's cradle that flips from that enchantment, and then Canopy Vista, Branch Loft Pathway, and then Boulder Loft Pathway, so it's a flip of the Branch Loft. Then we have Command Tower, just tap for all of our color identity. 35 lands, not too bad for a Selesnya deck here. I don't really have a lot of the 3 visits, the Nature's Lore type cards in here. I really wanted to focus on creature ramp. That's why you don't see a lot of those in here. I didn't really build it for sorcery ramp. I don't think it fits the deck. I think I want more. That's why you only see Soul Ring and Arcane Signet in here as the artifact ramp. And Great Hinge, but Great Hinge will take so long. Sometimes you can get it out on turn 3, but sometimes you get it out on not turn 3. So it really just depends. And I already have I don't really have a lot of big creatures in here, but there's big creatures in here, if you know what I mean. I kind of already have like a Selvala deck, so I don't really need a lot of the staples. I do have like Crater Hoof and all that, but I really just want to focus on getting a bunch of life. It's pretty much what I want to do. And with that, I mean you can with the big creatures, but I'd like to focus on gaining life in this life gain deck. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe and comment down below that everybody's built this deck. I don't know why you're uploading a video. Everybody's seen this deck. So, but if you guys want to play Spell Table, join the Discord. Link in the description. Peace out.